Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to this week's question and answer video. I'm David. This is Damar's Coaching, and I have a weekly question and answer video I do every Monday where I'm answering your guys' questions. Anybody have any questions at all, please go down below into the comment section, right down there. Ask me anything you want. Come back next Monday for next week's video for the answer, and let me know what you think. Keep asking questions, okay? If you guys feel like this is beneficial to you or to somebody else, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone else, and vote. That's how it keeps going. Thank you very much. So I like to recommend something every week to you guys, something to help you guys heal, help with your recovery, whether it's better sleep or anxiety or depression, just things to help you heal. Sometimes it's supplements, sometimes it's books, sometimes it's activities, exercises. So what I want to do is read Tara's question here. Tara from Niagara, Canada, beautiful area. Hi, Tara. And see, just the advice I give her is the advice I'm giving you guys for this week. Is there a peak of healing, or have I just hit a temporary plateau? I seem content at where I have reached and proud of how far I have come since breaking ties with my sibling over 3 years ago, but I'm still not sure if I can ever reach or know what happy is. I feel that I am at the most peace I have been in my life, so I'm wondering if this is it. I have tried new foods, went to new places, met some new people, and I'm planning my first plane trip in April, so I'm trying new things of experiences, but I'm not sure if they make me happy. I processed a ton of trauma and broke ties with the toxic person in my life, but still feel a bit stuck. Therapy seems to have stalled on progress after 2 years, so just looking for a pointer to try and get unstuck. Thanks, as always. Your work is truly appreciated. Thank you very much, Tara. So this is something that so many people tell me about, and I understand it. In our recovery and our healing, we reach what we think is a plateau. Sometimes we even think we're going backwards. So if progress is like this for so long, yeah, maybe it's hard to keep that up. But I think of healing as never ending. Maybe we're all healing from something. Because a part of the healing that I take my clients through is really finding out who they are, self-discovery, and that never ends. Never, never, never. We're never reach full capacity of complete consciousness of who we are. And so we're always trying to do that and always getting better. And we always, life kind of goes like this. It's not linear, up and down. So a lot of people reach this place. First of all, you said that your progress in your therapy has stalled after 2 years. 2 years is a good amount of time to seeing a therapist. If it's stalled, maybe that's the limit of the therapist. I don't know. I would maybe go see somebody else. Maybe you're done there with that person. Like I said, what I take my clients through never ends. So I'll never be done with someone with coaching. That's up to them when they're done with me. So what I recommend, and I like what you said, because that's what I always recommend, and I don't know if you're saying that because I recommend it all the time, but go to new places, meet new people, try new things, big time. Because a lot of this might not be just your recovery. I don't know. We want to, have good relationships. That's important. And if you're there now, great. I ask myself sometimes, am I staying alive or am I living? We don't need to just stay alive. We need to live. Yeah, live our lives fully. And a lot of times we'll feel like life may be passing us by, maybe going quickly by us, and we're not really sure. We don't have much direction, plans, right? Self-awareness is almost the answer to everything. And that's why we can't tell people what to do. If we ever need to know what to do, we need to look inside. We can ask people what they think, but really it comes down to us, doesn't it? And I hold my hand up like this and I say these are the 5 major parts of your true authentic self. And one of them, a big one, is one that a lot of people don't really know a lot. And that's what you want. What do you want? We fixed our past, we're content with our present, but what about your future? Where do you want it to go? Because where you want to go in your future will determine a lot of what you do today. Because it feels good. If I do one little thing today to get me closer to where I want to be tomorrow, I feel good about it. I do. And so I encourage people to find out who they are, what they want all the time. I've made other suggestions and things that you can do in my other Q&As. But why don't you find out what you want in life? Be specific. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What kind of people do you want in your life? What kind of relationships do you want? You want to be married, children? Brainstorm. Brainstorm and write down every single thing you've ever been interested in, you've ever been excited about, anything that gives your life meaning and purpose, anything that's ever excited you. Start being into yourself big time. You can take personality tests. There's all kinds of different ones. And you're really just learning who you are. Because if you totally knew who you are, you'd be like working hard because now tomorrow I want this, so I got to do this today, right? And in a year from now I want this, but if I do something now today, and so you go from a place that you might feel like I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life, to I don't have enough time in my life to do everything I want to do. Life becomes more exciting. You talked about happy, and people I think get very confused with happiness. I believe, just personal opinion. Happiness is an emotion. I don't know if it's so much a state of being. I think content, comfortable, peace. These are the things that human beings really, really want. That's what relationships offer. Comfort. Not so much happiness. Happiness is fleeting, comes and goes. You're describing moments in your life that I hope brings you some happiness. But as far as being a state of being happy all the time, that's impossible, right? We have too many emotions. We have thousands of different emotions that we can experience, many of them at the same time. And I can be happy and sad. And if I'm doing things that normally make me happy and I'm not feeling happy about them, then there's other emotions that I'm having too, probably. I might be facing some depression or sadness or loss, grief, things like this at the same time. Emotions are like a layer of an onion. We can keep peeling them away and away and away. So if I was coaching you, I would know where you're at more and maybe have better suggestions. But as a general answer, what do you want, right? Who you are, what you need, what you want, what you value, how you feel, and your opinion will always guide you. Always. You'll always know exactly what to do. Always. And start trusting yourself. That was my last video. Let me know what you think, Tara, about my answer. And thank you. CD from Colorado. Hello. So sorry for the loss of your Danny. Thank you. Never miss your videos and vote up for you. My question today, and thank you. My question today is, do exes that you reject become easy target for online romance scammers? We're susceptible to any kind of toxic person when we're vulnerable. Look at the most disgusting people you guys have met and had in your life, relationships with, and look at the time you met them. I doubt everything was great. Right? Maybe you just lost someone you care about. Maybe you just went through something traumatic. Maybe you were depressed, down, lonely. Maybe you didn't have very many people in your life. I don't know. Just lost. But yes, absolutely. And you said, do exes you reject become easy targets? I think it's people that can't take rejection become easy targets. And they also become, scammers themselves, right? I hope I answered your question. Let me know. Thank you. And I missed some questions in the last video. It's like 3 or 4 questions. And I'm sorry. I told you guys I was going to answer it today. And so I'm going to. Here's a couple more questions. Hi, David Christine from New York. Hello, Christine. Want to send my condolences again about Danny. Been offline for all just to reboot. Thank you. I do hope these question answer casts don't go nowhere because they make a difference. They have for me so much. As long as you guys want them, they won't go anywhere. No. Okay, so my question is, what tools should I use to get rid of some resentments from the past at times? I feel so close, then I always get pulled back in with triggers. So triggers, if you're having triggers, Christine, there's still something in your past that really bothers you. Our memories are emotionally significant. And so if I have a memory that is emotionally negative feeling, let's deal with that so we don't have triggers. We don't want triggers. If I have a traumatic experience and I don't heal from that and I just try to ignore it, numb it, things like this, and then I get reminded of it from different little things around here, that's the problem. Okay? But your question is, how do I get rid of resentments that you have? Talking about it with the person themselves. If that's not okay, can't do it, then try writing. Try writing out everything you resent. Try accepting, radical acceptance, every single thing that's ever happened in your past. Try to understand that, if you don't already, that try to take some ownership. Even though I was forced to do this and I wasn't really sure and I just accepted and agreed and said, okay, try to hold on to that little part that we did, and realize, all of you, there's no such thing as lost time. We just chose to spend it how we did. But here we are right now, right here, right now, and it doesn't matter what we did anymore. All that matters is our emotions that are significant, that causes bad memories, bad feelings, and we process those. We come to terms with those. We feel better about it by talking and writing. Writing helps a lot. And start focusing on what you want in the future. Maybe it'll help you take your attention off the past so much. If we start doing things that are fulfilling, successful, and have some achievement, it can really help with things that we resent in the past. I hope that helps. Let me know. Thank you, Christine. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. Why is rejection so hard for some people? Of course, you will feel hurt for a time, but then you get on with life. So I just recently made a video about rejection. Go watch it. I can't remember if that was last week, the week before. Some people cannot accept rejection. Yeah. Some people can't accept no. Some people always get their way. Some people were brought up with parents that didn't teach them no. You take a very selfish, narcissistic person, and their mother, I think of it, their mother handing them cookies, right? Can I have a cookie? Here's a cookie. Can I have a cookie? Here's a cookie. Can I have a cookie? Yes, here's another cookie. Can I have a cookie? Here's another cookie. And that mom that never says no to that child sees that cookies are almost gone. And the cookies don't matter, really, to the child. They given to them anytime for anything, even when they're bad. And then that finally, no, you can't have a cookie. Temper tantrum, right? There's some people that grow up very, very spoiled. And it's not necessarily physical belonging, it's emotional. Never held accountable, never held responsible. Don't know how to deal with being rejected. Acceptance starts with ourself. And you'll see that narcissistic people reject themselves very much. Anyone that has the false persona, false character, false narrative, all these kinds of things, means I can't look at myself. I don't accept myself. And that's why when you reject me, it hurts even more, and I can't accept it. And I'm in control and control and control and control and try to change it and fix it. Smearing and attacking and lying. Yeah. Thank you, Roy. Let me know what you think. Traveler Man from Louisiana. Hey, David, sad to hear the interactions have went down. Sad. So to ask a question based on self-awareness, do narcissists ask themselves or others if they are narcs? And it's everything. So I know of narcissists that know that they're narcissists, not necessarily they were diagnosed. They know they are. I know some of these people that know they're narcissists. Here's the deal. At some point, developing their personality, it might be late teens, early 20s, that's when we start doing it. They know that they're different. Okay, they see how people are, and they see that people are empathetic and compassionate and caring, and they're responsible, and they're accountable and look at themselves, all these things that they can't do, that they don't do. So they know they're very different. Okay, as far as the diagnosis, who knows? It's becoming more aware now. Society's becoming more aware of this, even though they misuse it a lot, but it makes them wonder or question themselves. The thing is a narcissist doesn't really look at themselves or question themselves much. You have a covert narcissist who is so ashamed of themselves, there is no self. It's not just, it's all ego. And so they don't look at themselves. They aren't going to, they fear that people will know they're different. They aren't going to try to even think of it. They're going to try to ignore it and just lie to themselves, become delusional with different narratives about who they are. And then there's the over narcissist that knows that they're a narcissist and proud of it. I've known narcissists to wear t-shirts. I'm a narcissist, proud narcissist, stuff like this. I've seen someone call someone a narcissist and they're like, no, I'm a sociopath, get it right. That's offensive. They're offended. Narcissist isn't good enough. Sociopath. So, it's a spectrum, a scale. A lot of it has to do with self-awareness. They know that there's something wrong with them, that they're different. That's for sure. They made a promise that no one will hurt them. And so they lie. Do they ask themselves or others if they are narcs? I've never heard that much. A narcissist saying, am I a narcissist? You typically get that from people who are victims of narcissists who, after a relationship, wonder, is it me? Is it them? I see a lot of narcissistic traits and a lot of, it's a very narcissistic relationship, but am I the narcissist or are they? And that's at least someone self-introspecting, examining, right? Narcissists don't do that very well. Hope I answered your question. Let me know. Thanks. And John, let us know where your location is if you can, guys. You can be general. I was in a BPD relationship over a year ago. I've been in no contact since splitting, which I consider a blessing. The problem is she lives next door. Is it normal for me to feel she is projecting her spirit towards me? I never see her, but I feel her spirit in my space. Well, I'm not going to get into spirituality, right? It's just, if I have traumatic experiences with somebody, I don't want to live with them, right? Trauma and abuse and neglect means stress. It's stress, okay, guys? Stress levels. I have so much from my past that was so bad and I'm stressed out about it. Still depressed about it. I'm so scared of what's happening in my future. I'm stressed. So if this relationship is the source of massive stress, whether it was trauma, abuse, neglect, and now it's stressful, it was and still is, I don't want to live with this person. I still don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to live next door. I don't want to work with them. So why don't you move? And it's so simple, yet so complex for victims. It's so simple for me on the other side now to say, hey, it doesn't feel good, move. That's taking care of myself. I have to feel worthy of that, and I go do it. And then what I get from victims is, yeah, but I don't want them to think that I moved just because of them. Oh, so we still value their opinion. Maybe something is going on there like that. But if it doesn't feel good, which I can't imagine it feeling good, I don't, when I try to help people heal from their abusive, toxic, negative, neglectful relationships, I'm not trying to help them have a relationship with them still, right? We got to get away and safe, and then that source of stress is gone, and then I calm down. But if that source of stress is next door, it's still affecting you, your spirit, if you will. Okay? I'm sorry, but at least that's something you can do about it. I know nobody likes to move, but it's also not great to stay living in the same place forever. That's a part of that stagnant life I was talking about. If we do the same thing over and over and over again, life sucks. It feels like it's passing us by. So we want change. Even though our brains don't, we do. Our true authentic self wants change. Our brain doesn't. And so our brain says, no, that's scary. Don't try that. No, you'll fail. No, you don't want that. You don't want to do that. They won't like that. No one will care. All right. Salema from Francais. I used to have poor boundaries. With your help, I learned to have healthier boundaries. You sure have. And the part of the boundaries that I like that you have, Salema, is not keeping people out. It's inviting people in. Awesome. Lately, I had successful interactions with people with more respect and no more crossing of my boundaries. Yay! Yet, I don't feel like talking to people. I am happy by myself and I have beautiful conversations with my son. I'm enjoying myself in my nest, as you say, getting to realize how my thoughts have changed, or should I say how they are structured differently now that I am healthier and less chaotic. I need to give myself some time before socializing. Is it okay? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do, only how you feel about it. So you don't need anybody else to tell you it's okay or not. You decide that. Is it okay? And you say yes. Okay? If you don't like it, starts to feel bad, change it. All right, Salima? We just get used to what we're doing, okay? So I could be the biggest overt person in the world, and I go to parties every single night, right? If I decide to stay home for whatever reason, doesn't matter why, if I stay home and not see anybody or talk to me and stop going out for 6 months, I'm literally losing my social skills. My brain says, don't do it anymore. Do what we do. All your brain cares about is survival and making yourself better at what you do. You go out and socialize all the time, you get better at it, and you want to do it. You don't want to change. Your brain does it. You stay at home long enough, it's all your brain wants you to do. Okay? It doesn't matter what you do, Sulema, only how you feel about it. Of course it's okay, as long as that's you saying it's okay and nobody else. Tara, you don't write where you're from. Maybe you don't want people to know. How about North America? Hope I'm not giving too much away. I already told you this, but I did act BPD in certain ways when I was with Steve. Ways I didn't act in the relationship I had after him. I think I got back with him, I would act BPD again in the same ways as before, because I'm pretty sure he hasn't changed, and I would think he most likely did play a part in how I behaved toward him. I might have actually at least had BPD traits and outgrew them, or I never had it, I just had c-ptsd. A trait of BPD is that emotions change quickly, like within a few minutes, right? So my question is, how do emotions work for people who don't have BPD? How long? Well, here, it's called processing emotions, okay? And so someone who's unstable emotionally is not processing emotions. And so, like I said earlier, we have thousands, possibly tens of thousands of different emotions. That's different things our body can do. Feelings are what they're called, and we must process these emotions. And a healthy, independent, emotionally healthy person that's independent will do this. They'll process their emotions. Someone who's not, someone who's scared of their emotions, someone who has too intense emotions, someone that's too ashamed of themselves, things like this, they will ignore what their body's doing. And so it stays that way. Emotions stay open if you don't close them. Right? So we have emotional reactions we're not always necessarily in control of. And so our body starts doing things. And now I'm going to say things like, I have a little thing I do to process, I teach people, but what is it my body's doing? What is it called? What is the source? Why? Is there something I can do about it? If so, always do it. If not, throw it out. Things like this. And so the emotion becomes open, I express it and close it. If I don't, I keep getting new emotions and they just don't close, and my body keeps doing things. It's like taking a piece of paper and saying this is your body, and then you start writing down emotions you've had for the last week. Sad, happy, stress, fear, content, and all these different emotions. These are things your body's doing. So imagine just 20 different emotions that your body's doing. Doesn't feel very good. I better start closing some of them to stabilize. That's the difference. Right? Someone with BPD most likely is not processing their emotions because that requires self-awareness. It's one of the 5 emotions. I hope I answered your question. Let me know. You said, how long do their emotional states last? And that's a good one. Because if I'm super, 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 super pissed off and angry about something you just did to me today, but I just go, no, I'm fine, and I just ignore it and ignore it and ignore it, it can last for the rest of my life. That's what the old angry people are, that don't even realize they're angry anymore because they don't know why. They lost the source. And that's a big time problem with trauma. They have all these emotions still and we don't even know why, where they're from. You'll have drug addicts that can't cope with their emotions, so they take drugs to numb out. Say they take drugs for 10 to 20 years, and when they get clean, all of a sudden, all these emotions start surfacing and they don't know what they're from. And hopefully they have somebody there to help them and figure out what they are and why. I hope that makes sense. The healthy person, emotional healthy person that processes their emotions, they aren't as intense either. You'll see healthy emotional people have the same loss. They lose their husband, their wife, their parents, their children, and they're able to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Hope I made sense. Let me know what you think, Tara, and thank you. Good to see you again. And tell us your location if you want me to say more than North America. Barb from Maryland. Hello, Barb. I want to know if telling my story about how I was abused in every way, from emotionally to financially, if being open and honest is the same thing as a smear campaign against my abuser. I cannot keep this a secret. No, secrets are shameful. Remember that. Shame is a secret. If I'm doing something I have to keep secret, maybe I should stop doing it. At least tell someone, don't make it secret. Helps you be more accountable and responsible. Great question, Barb. Great question. It's that obvious. It's that simple. Tell your story. Tell your truth. Tell it to anybody. Say whatever you want. You just don't have to say who it is. That would be a smear campaign. And it's that simple. There's nothing else. It's that black and white. I can tell, because who cares if my experience is true or not, if they're accurate or not, if they bother me or not. I'm going to tell my story. Somebody abused me. Somebody neglected me. Somebody cheated on me. Somebody lied to me. Somebody hit me. There's no reason to say who it is. No healthy reason. If you're saying who it is, you want vengeance. You want acts of violence towards them. It's that simple. Right? Tell your story. We have to. We have to tell the story. We have to find the real truth. The best way to do that, Barb, is with somebody that you can trust and knows how to help you. Not just friends. Okay? Thanks for the question. Great question. And JR, oh, I can't remember where you're from. I can't remember where you're from. Somewhere East Coast. What I think is what I said, bruh. That's what women, mom and girlfriends, always do when I tell them to stop trying to control me. There wasn't a time I said it and they didn't cry. So, JR, yeah, I apologize. I think last time I kind of gave you the lecture of not all women are like this and stuff like this. And I get it. You're being specific and saying the experiences you've had. And I understand. I've had a plethora of toxic women want something from me. And when I don't give it to them, they can't handle it. They can't take rejection. And that's what that is. I can't get what I want from you. So, in what JR explained last time is every single female in his life he's ever told, stop controlling me, stop trying to control me, starts bawling, freaking out. And you can see that, right? You can see that rejection, the fear of abandonment, I'm going to lose you. These are people that always try to control everything so they don't have to deal with loss, rejection, right? Things like that. And so they just can't deal with it, JR. And you're finding very unstable women and that's why, starting with your mother. Hope you create some massive distance with her. You've mentioned some other comments about her that are extremely toxic. And this allows us to start healing. And so we stop having women like this in our lives so you can start meeting those other women that don't do this. Because there's more of them. Yeah. That's a weird reaction. Stop trying to control me. Well, then obviously they're trying to control you. Right? If someone told me, since I don't control people, if someone said, stop trying to control me, I'd say, that's weird. How am I trying to control you? Salima from France again. Thanks for answering my question about the triangle of Cartman. Yes, it would be great to have a whole video about it. Many thanks. You got it. This week. JR again. Bruh, there's just what I feel is a big elephant in the room, and I've had a hard time ignoring it. Why is it when there's a male and a female in a situation, say they hook up, and let's say she instigated it, even and he responded, so there they were. Why is it that she's a victim? So two young people, usually it tends to be younger people, have a one-night stand, a fling, don't know each other, very vulnerable, have sex, and the next day she accuses you of raping her, or you forced her, you made her. Well, this is somebody who had different expectations for one, right? You know, I go out, I meet a girl, I take her home, I have sex with her, and next day she wants to come home, and I go, what do you mean? You're going home? Oh, I thought we're together forever. I thought you just moved in and we're going to stay together forever. No, I'm going to go home now. What? How could you do that to me? You're abandoning me. You're rejecting me. Something like that. Be careful, JR. The experiences you describe, I think you're in much more danger than you may be aware of. Because I've seen it so many times and heard it so many times, the false accuser. I mean, I don't want to get into the stories I've heard, but I mean, just a one night stand. She says you raped her. She has a mark on her face, says you hit her. These are very unstable people that probably had horrible experiences in childhood. You know, think of a female who was molested. I'll tell you a story right now. Not a story, but an example. Why it's at least 70% of girls who've been molested in their childhood have been raped in adulthood. Staggering. Why? Well, most of it is because of dissociation. So what happens is a 7-year-old girl is molested by her uncle, and it's too traumatic, it's too much for her nervous system, goes offline, she dissociates. Dissociation is good. It's a safety mechanism. It helped her get through that. The problem is she never learned to protect herself. Okay? She finishes high school, goes to college. Someone finally asks her out on a date because she's not very outgoing, scared. She finally, I think I like this guy, goes on a date. He takes her home, you know, her house, his house. She allows it. All he has to do is put his hand on her leg, and she might start dissociating, not protecting herself. And he has what he thought was consensual sex because she never said no. She went right along with it. And the next day, police come and arrest him for raping her. Danger. Danger. Stop with the hookups. I'm telling you, it's not serving you. Good luck. Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. How do you work on anger? What made me more angry is when my dad would hum, when he could clearly see that I was sad. It felt like it made him happy, and he would punish me when I was hurt. Yeah, it did. He's so miserable. If he knocks people down, it makes him feel better about himself. Pretty pathetic. You work on anger by, you know, people try to, toxic people, narcissists, they'll try to say you're a bad person because you're angry. Anger is not a bad emotion. There's no bad, right, wrong emotions. Some feel bad, right? But as far as I'm angry, shouldn't affect anyone else. When it does, then there's a problem. If I'm violent, I had an extremely toxic person over a year ago try to tell me, oh, you're angry, you're angry. And I was like, yeah, I happen to be angry, pretty angry at you. Well, it's just not right that you're angry. You're always angry. I'm not always angry. I'm angry right now. And what's wrong with that? Did I do something to scare you? Yeah, you're throwing things all over the place. No, and they're saying another time, not even then. I'm like, so you're talking about a time I was angry and I was throwing things all over the place. I don't remember doing that. When was that? Be more specific, please. Well, you weren't throwing stuff, but, you know, I'm like, but what? Name one little thing I did. Oh, you zipped up a bag real fast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that scared you. I'll try to be more aware to not do that. Mindful again. Anger, like every emotion, must be expressed. That's it. We find a healthy way to express it. Be careful around others. No throwing things, no banging on stuff, no shouting, screaming, no hitting stuff, no threatening, no violence. I'm very angry. It scares toxic people. Very dependent, fear of abandonment people that don't have a lot of empathy. But they seem to care about one emotion, and that's anger. Are you angry at me? No. Oh, okay, good. Well, wait a minute. I may not be that angry, but I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm lost, I'm scared, I'm confused for everything that you've been doing to me, but I'm not angry. Okay, so I only care if you're angry. That means you're going to do something. You might leave me. Yeah. Your dad's sick, and I'm so sorry that he did that to you, that he felt good about you being miserable. That just shows you how miserable he is. And you also ask, what is the difference between histrionic and premenstrual dysphoric disorder? So you're talking about a personality disorder and a dysphoria disorder. Totally different things. Yeah. There may be some overlapping symptoms or traits. Sure. but they're just totally different things. And then that happens with psychology. I could name 10 other disorders. I mean, there's a few hundred disorders out there. And, in psychology, there's so many overlapping traits and symptoms and stuff. Okay. So I don't really want to get into that. If you had a more specific question about premenstrual dysphoric disorder, please ask me. I don't know everything about every disorder, but I know a little bit about a lot of them. So feel free, Emily, to ask me something else about that. What did you want to know about it besides just the difference? Because you could have both. Not you, but someone could have both. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for answering my question, David. You're welcome. Visiting my son at his new apartment he shares with his girlfriend. It was time for him to go to work, and it was raining really hard. It took everything for me to not say, please don't go. His girlfriend said she looked up weather report. The rain would be stopping in 30 minutes. I'm so glad I didn't say a word. This is their home, his relationship. What's wrong with me? He's a grown-ass man. Why am I doing this? Don't be so hard on yourself, Victoria. If it's a behavior you don't like, stop doing it. And you did. It'll get easier. That's all. Your behaviors, let's say codependency, right? People hate that word, but it's just behaviors. Don't ever say I'm a codependent. Don't ever say someone is a codependent, because it's not a diagnosis. There's no such thing as a codependent person. It's a person with codependent behaviors. There's no way everyone's innocent of codependency. I mean, anyone. I didn't say everyone. There's no way that there's a single person on this planet that's not guilty of some type of codependent behavior. Does that make it easier for everybody? And your mom, Victoria, we might have a fear of loss. It's hard to watch our children grow up, isn't it? It's hard to let them go and make mistakes and stuff, but just allow it. What happens, Victoria, is when we are okay, we believe our children will be okay. So if you heal, you won't be as scared of the things that he'll go through. Just like if you heal, you won't be as scared of what you may go through in life, right? But when we're not healed, we get scared, and then we get scared for the people we care about. We don't need to be. If there's things that scare you about your son, it would be just maybe things he doesn't know, but allow him to make bad choices, bad decisions, make mistakes. That's the only way we learn. We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to only do things the right way. Okay. Sounds like you're getting better. Thought, action, feeling. Thought, feeling, action. If we don't like our actions, we start changing them, and it starts changing the way we feel and think. I promise. Emily again. Why do I feel dizzy whenever I ate or when there is something upcoming that is stressful? It's stress chemicals. We all react differently to everything, right? And if we have been in if we had childhood experiences that were bad and negative that we couldn't stop or fix or change or escape, which is every neglectful and abusive experience we have as a child, if we can't stop this, we get stress disorders and stuff like this, and we get massive overloads of stress chemicals. And so a normal, healthy response to danger would be eliminate it or run. You can't do that at 5. You can't tell your parents to stop fighting. You can't tell your parents, hey, you need to start giving me more attention. You can't do it. You can't make it stop. You can't make them stop. You can't control it. You can't leave. You can't walk out the door and say, I've had enough, Mom, Dad, I'm out of here. Peace. I tried when I was 5. Literally. But these chemicals, I mean, there's several, from cortisol to adrenaline, and they're powerful, right? Lift up a car to save our children. Instead, you just sit there. What are we using all these stress chemicals for, right? This overload of stress chemicals so I can run the fastest I've ever run in my life away from a lion chasing me, right? That's what, then we process it and then we get feel-good hormones and it feels better. But our nervous system is out of whack. And the feel-good hormones don't calm us down anymore, and we get an overload of stress chemicals, and they can make you feel dizzy for sure. A common one for me, because we were supposed to fight or flight, right? But we also freeze, fawn. They made 2 new ones up for us, and that's what I would do, freeze. And when people would confront me, my knees would get so weak, You know, when I'm supposed to be strong and I'm feeling the adrenaline come in, I'm supposed to be able to, yeah, but I'm not. I'm like, awful. That's why, Emily, get rid of stress in your life and you'll stop having an abundance of stress chemicals. Hope that makes sense. And everything will start working better. That's it, guys. That's it for this week's question and answer video. Great questions. I hope my answers were okay. Let me know. I like to know what you think of my answers, if they helped you, and then maybe it adds more questions. So keep asking, okay? And please vote. It's the only thing that keeps these videos going. I'll do the videos, you just touch the button. Okay? I'll see you guys next week, okay? Try to have a nice week. Love yourself first.